Alrighty, thank you everybody for tuning in to the 14th iteration of the Konoha Companion. My name is Joshua, and I'm your Konoha Companion as always. And on this episode, we're going to be covering Season 1, Episode 14 of Naruto, entitled The Number One Hyperactive Knucklehead Ninja Joins the Fight. And before we get into the episode, I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of what happened on the previous episode in my own words. To make it quick, Squad 7 headed to the bridge without Naruto so that he could rest because he'd been overworking himself with his chakra control training. When Naruto wakes up, he rushes out the door to catch up with his team because he doesn't want to leave them hanging. At that point, Tsunami gets kidnapped by Gato's two primary thugs, Old Gray Hair and Old Eye Patch. Inari finds his courage and risks his life to try and save her. And Naruto comes in at the last moment to save the day, apprehending the two thugs and congratulating Inari on a job well done, all before apologizing for his ugliness the day before, calling him a coward. It's also revealed that Naruto was able to save the day because on the way to the bridge he saw a hog that had been all sliced up, as well as some trees that were cut up that looked like someone had been practicing their sword work, and then he tracked that scene back to Tasuna's house and was able to save the day. Naruto leaves Inari in control of the situation and heads for the bridge, and it's revealed that Zabuza and Haku have ambushed the rest of Team 7 on the bridge while all of this was transpiring, and we find ourselves in a situation where there's a one-on-one fight happening between Sasuke and Haku. Sasuke seems to have the upper hand, but winds up being trapped in Haku's secret ice crystal mirrors jutsu, which basically puts a dome of crystal ice mirrors around Sasuke, and each of the mirrors has a reflection of Haku in it. And this enables Haku to simultaneously attack the person trapped within the dome from range and from every direction that there is, that there's a mirror facing simultaneously, which he does to Sasuke, leaving Sasuke effectively turtled up, getting hit by Senbon, the thrown little ninja needles, at an overwhelming rate. I do want to point out that it's odd to me that Haku didn't snipe and kill Sasuke, right? Like, Haku clearly has the ability to snipe and hit pressure points in Zabuza's neck at range. You'd think he'd be able to easily, while Sasuke's turtled up and unable to move, would be able to hit a vital organ. And so I wonder if he's soft, or I wonder if he's really mean. Like, it's either he's soft and doesn't want to kill the guy, or he's mean and he wants to prolong his suffering, right? Or some variable that I'm not considering, but it's definitely noteworthy to me, right, that he hasn't just put one in Sasuke's heart. Kakashi tries to intervene to save Sasuke because no one's seen this, right? Like, this is something new. The crystal ice mirrors jutsu is something no one's ever seen before, and Kakashi is not confident in Sasuke's ability for him to get out of there, so he tries to rush in and help, and Zabuza heads him off and stops him. Sakura tries to throw a kunai, but Haku catches it midair, and when he does this, the attacks from within the dome stop. And so at this point it can be, not necessarily concluded, but can be pretty effectively inferred that whenever Haku's real hands are occupied doing something other than attacking, so too are the hands of all of the reflections and all of the mirrors. And so, the relationship between correlation and causality isn't necessarily absolute at this point, but it's definitely seeming that way. And at this point, Naruto comes in at the last minute to level the playing field, and the episode ends. And this episode starts, you guys are going to get a whole other rundown now, where it's kind of a breakdown of the entire arc to this point by Iruka. And Iruka comes in saying that the village hidden in the leaves, many of the world's greatest ninja have come from this secret village, and it shows us the Hokage's faces painted over, the original prank that we saw Naruto pull in episode 1. And then it shows the scene of Naruto running away from the ninja, trying to chase after him to get him for committing that prank. And Iruka continues, Naruto Uzumaki, he's the number one prankster of the village. He's also determined to be the greatest ninja of all. and Naruto comes flying across the screen yelling, "Give it up, losers." And Iruka continues on. His sexy jutsu is one of the unusual techniques he developed, and it shows Naruto's sexy jutsu turning into a hot blonde. And it also shows Iruka blowing up on him, yelling to Naruto to cut your stupid tricks, this is your last warning. And it's the scene where Iruka has those like pieces of white cotton or whatever they are protruding from his nose. And I still want someone to come in and enlighten me about what's happening there, because I still don't understand what Iruka has in his nose. Iruka continues, but Naruto had a secret inside that even he didn't know about. 12 years ago, a nine-tailed fox nearly destroyed our village. And it shows the nine-tail attack. And Iruka continues, to save us, the spirit of the beast was sealed away inside a child. That child was Naruto. And it shows Naruto on the swing alone, ostracized, looking at the kids graduating. And Iruka continues, the adults of the village shunned him because they knew he had the beast spirit inside of him. And it shows the scene where the two girls notice Naruto on the swing post-graduation, and one of them says, you see him? It's that boy. I heard he's the only one who failed. And the other harumphs and goes, well, it serves him right. And the first girl wonders, just imagine what would happen if he became a ninja. And it then shows the scene where Iruka officially makes Naruto a ninja. And Iruka then continues, with my approval, Naruto finally graduated from the academy and became a ninja. And it shows Naruto hugging Iruka, and it then flashes us to Naruto getting his picture taken with the clown makeup on. And Iruka continues, at last he was finally ready for his first mission. Ninja missions are carried out in squads of 3. To this point, we have squad 7 on the screen, and they're silhouetted, and they're effectively highlighted, each of them individually, as Iruka talks about them moving forward. And Iruka adds, Naruto's group includes Sasuke Uchiha of the legendary Uchiha clan. Sasuke's superior skills constantly frustrates Naruto to no end, which is true. But it's also a good thing, right? That frustration definitely instigates productive growth out of Naruto, and witnessing that growth in Naruto definitely motivates Sasuke to grow on his own, right? So it's like a snake eating its own tail type of situation where it's a really, really positive thing that's happening for both of these guys. He then continues, the other member of the trio is Sakura Haruno, a kunoichi, a female ninja. Naruto likes Sakura, but she has a big crush on Sasuke. And come on, Iruka. I know this is getting kind of old, right? But they could have put a little bit more respect on Sakura's name instead of just being like, she's Sakura. She makes it an awkward love triangle and is a female, right? Like, I definitely think she adds a little more than just being a female and is interested in Wiener from Sasuke, and Naruto's interested in laying Wiener. You know what I'm saying? Just come on. But that's the way they introduced her here. We're gonna keep this train rolling because I'm the guy who wrote the script. Iruka continues, to succeed, they'll have to learn to work as a team. Their sensei is Kakashi Hatake, known as the Copy Ninja. He's one of the most exceptionally skilled Jonin in the Hidden Leaf Village. And I'd like to see who's more talented than Kakashi in Iruka's mind, right? Like, Kakashi's dope, and if there's a spectrum, I want to see who's up that chain for sure. Iruka continues, the group's first major mission was to guard Tazuna, the master bridge builder from the Land of Waves, and it shows Naruto exclaiming with excitement as he leaves the village for the very first time. And the scene transitions to Gato and his thugs, and Iruka continues, however, an evil tycoon named Gato sought the bridge builder's life and control over his country. It then shows the initial scene where Gato came to confront Zabuza about not getting the job done after Team 7 thwarted the assassination attempt of the Demon Brothers on Tazuna. And Iruka continues, Gato hired an assassin to eliminate Tazuna. We then hear Zabuza, blade drawn on Gato, remarking, "This time I'll go personally, and this sword will be the last thing he ever sees." And Iruka continues, "Zabuza Momochi, a rogue ninja known as the Demon of the Hidden Mist. A master of the silent killing technique, he had many victims. No one had ever escaped his soul. Naruto and his group struggled against Zabuza's punishing attacks." And at this point, it shows Zabuza effectively kicking the shit out of all of Team 7 during their first fight. And it shows Naruto standing up and telling Zabuza, "Hey you, the freak with no eyebrows, put this in your bingo book. The ninja that will become Hokage of the village hidden in the leaves, he never backs down. His name is Naruto Uzumaki." And it then shows the move that Sasuke and Naruto did to break the water prison jutsu that Zabuza had Kakashi trapped in while they were standing out on the water during their first fight. And Sasuke throws two giant shuriken, one traveling in the shadow of the other. And the second shuriken, which was traveling in the shadow of the first shuriken, was actually Naruto, who had previously transformed himself into the shuriken whenever he was dogpiling Zabuza with all of his clones and had him distracted. Zabuza easily dodges both giant shuriken, but when the second whizzes past him, Naruto changes back into his normal form midair and throws several kunai at Zabuza. Now, Zabuza is able to avoid the attack, but he's ultimately forced to break the water prison jutsu containing Kakashi in so doing. And at this point, Iruka continues, "By transforming into a shuriken, Naruto turned the tables on the demon assassin. Kakashi used the Sharingan Eye to copy Zabuza's jutsu and reflect those techniques back at his opponent." And you'll remember in the first big fight that Kakashi copied Zabuza's water clone, he copied his water dragon jutsu, and he copied his water vortex jutsu. And when he copied the water vortex jutsu, he actually got it fired off at Zabuza before Zabuza was even able to fire his off at Kakashi. So Kakashi is hecka goddamn dangerous whenever he busts that Sharingan out on your ass. It shows Zabuza getting blasted by the water vortex and getting slammed into a tree and ultimately getting pinned there to the tree with Kakashi's kunai. And it then shows Haku hitting Zabuza with the deception strike, and Iruka continues, "But the one who dealt the final blow was a tracker ninja from the village hidden in the mist." And it shows Haku taking Zabuza away and unmasking himself. And then Iruka explains, however, this boy, Haku, was actually Zabuza's partner. Haku then asks Zabuza if he's going to be alright next time, and Zabuza responds that next time he'll see right through Kakashi's Sharingan Eye. Iruka continues that Iruka continues, realizing that Zabuza must still be alive. Kakashi prepared his squad to face their enemy by teaching them special techniques to control chakra. And it shows the squadlings training, doing their running up and down the trees. And also the mechanic that they're using to run up and down the trees and stick to the bottoms of branches upside down is the same mechanism that Kakashi and Zabuza were using to stand on top of the water during their first fight. So chakra allows you to pretty much stand on any surface magnetized to its style. Iruka then continues that 1 week later, Kakashi's suspicions were confirmed, and it shows the start of the ambush in the bridge, where Kakashi first notices the mist rolling in, and Zabuza and Haku step on the bridge, and Zabuza says, "It looks like you've got a rival, Haku," to which Haku responds simply, "So it seems." Iruka then continues, "The time has come," and it then shows Haku casting his secret crystal ice mirrors jutsu, and it shows Sakura throwing the kunai and Haku coming out of the mirror to catch it. It shows Naruto hitting Haku with the sneak attack and knocking him out of the mirror. And it then shows Naruto making his grand entrance, and we are at this point exactly where the last episode ended. And the title screen comes in and reads, Naruto reads, the number one hyperactive knucklehead ninja joins the fight. Right, I wanted to just read the title as Naruto because Naruto is the number one hyperactive knucklehead ninja who's joining the fight. And he's also the guy who reads the title screen. So there's several layers of Naruto there that kind of trip me up. But we're about to be in for a fun fight, man. I mean, the playing field has been leveled. It may even be tipping in the favor of Squad 7 now that Naruto's there. You never know. And at this point, the smoke clears, and Naruto and Haku kind of stare each other down. And Naruto exclaims, "Now that I'm here, everything will be all right." And Tazuna looks on, shocked, and Sakura exclaims, excited for Naruto. And Naruto then continues with a flex. You know how in stories the hero shows up at the last minute and then kicks butt? Well, that's what I'm going to do right now. Believe it. And Zabuza looks over and goes, ugh, this brat again. And Sasuke, looking up from the ground, from within the crystal ice mirror dome, thinks, shut up, Naruto. And Kakashi thinks, ugh, what an idiot. If he'd have stayed hidden, he could have been so much more effective. And Kakashi may need to slow his roll a little bit, man. Naruto's a slippery little guy. He's always coming in with like clones and hitting you from the side and stuff. So this might be a clone. We never know. And Haku thinks that boy. And it flashes us back to Haku asking Naruto what he's doing, sleeping in the woods during their herb picking / chakra control training bump in the woods experience. Naruto tells Haku about how he's out there developing his skills to get stronger. And it takes us back to Haku, Naruto standing off in the current moment on the bridge. And Naruto exclaims, "Your history." And he casts his Shadow Clone Jutsu. And in this moment, Zabuza throws several shuriken at Naruto. And Kakashi yells for Naruto to move, who kind of panics and freezes up. And just as the shuriken are about to hit Naruto, Haku knocks him out of the air with his Senbon. And this shocks everybody, right? Why would this fool do that? Is he protecting Naruto? Does he have a little femboy crush on our boy Ninetales? Or is he just wanting to fight Naruto himself? Who knows? Sakura remarks, they missed him. And Tazuna responds, their weapons canceled each other out. Amazing. Now that's what I call lucky, I think. And Sakura then scolds Naruto, what are you doing, Naruto? Are you crazy? And Kakashi adds in, this is a battle, not a talent show. Don't let your opponents see your jutsu. The shinobi's art is deception. Always keep the enemy guessing. Even when executing a single jutsu, one must distract their opponent's attention, catch them off balance and outmaneuver them. You just turned yourself into a human target when you enter a battle like that. And Naruto hates hearing this and screams and pleads that he's sorry and that he was just trying to rescue everybody. And Kakashi then goes, but there's another mystery here. And Zabuza then asks Haku, what is he doing? And Haku responds, Zabuza, this boy, let me fight him my own way, please. And Naruto flexes and yells for him to bring it on. And the beat builds, and Zabuza tells Haku, so you want me to leave this to you, is that it, Haku? And Haku doesn't respond, and Zabuza remarks, as usual, you're too soft. And Haku lowers his head and asks Zabuza to forgive him. Sasuke now, on one knee, thinks to himself, soft, he's right, look at these wounds. He cut me up with his needles, yet he didn't hit a single vital spot. Why? Is he just trying to humiliate me? And so at this point, I was wondering the same thing, right? last episode, why is Haku not using his sniper accuracy to land a kill shot? And now that Sasuke isn't so overwhelmed by the attack, he's kind of having the same thought as well. Naruto at this point yells at Haku, I'm warning you, one way or another, I'm going to rip that mask off you and take you apart. And Kakashi thinks it's impossible. Naruto can't match this kid. I've got to. And he starts to take a step, and Zabuza yet again heads him off and tells him, don't even think about it. You know the score, Kakashi. If you go after Haku, I go after the bridge builder. And Kakashi kind of gasps and thinks, he's got me. I can't protect Tazuna and help Naruto and Sasuke at the same time. Sakura's feisty, but she can't fight Zabuza alone. And Zabuza kind of tells Kakashi to relax and then continues, sit back and enjoy the show. Let's see how they do one-on-one. And it shows the standoff between Haku and Naruto kind of intensifying. And Naruto says to Haku, that mask and your bogus story, you were with Zabuza all along? You think you can get away with a stunt like that? And Haku lowers his head and says, I'm sorry. But as your sensei said, deceiving your opponent, catching them off guard, that's the art of the shinobi. Please don't take it personally. And it shows Sasuke observing all of this from inside the ice dome. And he pulls out a kunai and thinks to himself, and while you're jabbering, I'll catch you off guard. And he throws the kunai and it nearly hits him in the side of the head, but he avoids it with the smoothness, just barely moving enough and just fast enough for the kunai attack to whiz right past his head and for him to look real cool in so doing. Haku then remarks without taking his gaze from Naruto, I haven't forgotten about you, not for an instant. And Naruto then thinks, so that's where Sasuke is, he's pinned down. Haku then turns to Sasuke and says, some warriors accept defeat gracefully. They know when they're beaten, others do not. So be it. Let's finish our battle then to the death. And Haku then starts walking slowly towards the ice dome. And Naruto demands, hey, where are you going? And Haku stops as he's about to enter the mirror and looks back at Naruto and says, it's all right. We'll have our fight next. And he walks into the mirror. And this obviously startles Naruto in quite the same way as it startled everyone else when they witnessed it for the first time, right? And Naruto thinks, what is he? And Sasuke then thinks, here he comes. And it shows Haku's reflection in the mirror that he had just stepped into. And Sasuke notes this mirror as where the real one is. He then reaches to draw a weapon, and Haku says, I'm behind you. And Sasuke gasps, and at this point it kind of pans and reveals that Haku is now in the mirror behind Sasuke with his Senbon drawn. And it then shows that Haku's no longer in the original mirror at all. And Sasuke thinks he transported himself in an instant. How? And as he's thinking this, the other mirrors have their reflections of Haku appear kind of one by one. And suddenly the Senbon barrage starts slashing Sasuke all over again. And Haku stops the assault and Sasuke falls to the ground. And Naruto and Sakura both yell out for Sasuke. Naruto then thinks, what is he? Sasuke is getting all ripped up, and I can't even tell where the attacks are coming from. How's he doing that? And Sasuke also thinks, what kind of jutsu is this? Could it be he has clones hiding in the mirrors, all throwing needles at the same time? No, they're too fast for that. I can't even see where they're coming from. And if it was just a clone jutsu, then he wouldn't need the ice mirrors. Those mirrors are definitely the key to his attacks. But what's my next move? And I don't know, man. I think the big tell is that he wasn't able to attack whenever he caught the kunai, right? Like, it's obvious that they're reflections because the attacks had to stop whenever the original thing that was casting the reflection stopped attacking, so too did all the reflections. But, Sasuke and I are both there, right? We're both kind of thinking the same thing at this point. Kakashi then yells, "Naruto, Sasuke, think. You have to attack from the outside and from the inside at the same time." And Sakura thinks, "To figure out how the mirrors work." And Naruto flexes and thinks, "I've got it." And Sasuke then thinks, "Yes, it's all about positioning. And Naruto and I are in the perfect position. If I attack him from here and Naruto hits him from the outside, we can do it." And suddenly Naruto taps Sasuke on the shoulder and tells him he snuck in there to save him. And Sasuke's clearly just shocked and pissed by this. And Naruto continues, "Pretty cool move, eh, Sasuke?" And everyone is mystified by this level of stupidity. Kakashi even remarks aloud, "Naruto, you sneak up on your enemies, not your ally." Sasuke then angrily yells to Naruto that he's a complete loser and that he's a shinobi who needs to think carefully before moving. And Naruto claps back, "What the heck's your problem? You should thank me for coming in here to help you." And Sasuke goes on to explain to Naruto how he screwed up, but winds up too frustrated and yelling, "Forget it, I've had it with your mistakes." And Naruto yells back, "I've had it with your attitude, believe it." And Kakashi thinks to himself, Naruto is quickly building a solid reputation as the most clueless ninja in history. The more he helps, the worse things get. And goddamn, Kakashi, chill out a little bit. Homie's the only reason why you ain't dead in a water jail right now. You got hella caught by Zabuzan in a water prison, and Naruto hit everybody with the super deception stick and got you out of there, man. He's got some cleverness. I don't know. Maybe Naruto's just my boy. I'll fight Kakashi. Some bullshit. But, definitely screwing up this episode for sure. Definitely, Naruto's definitely having a hard time this episode. But come on. Things didn't get worse whenever he helped you out of that water prison jutsu, asshole. Naruto's legit turning into the Rodney Dangerfield of anime real quick. No respect at all. Bullshit. Sasuke stands up and proclaims, "That's it. I'm going to destroy these mirrors right now." And Sasuke throws a bunch of hand signs and yells, "Fire style." And Naruto stops him and asks, "What attack is he using?" And Sasuke responds, "These mirrors are made of ice. How do you destroy ice? Figure it out. Fireball jutsu." And he blows a huge fireball at the mirrors in front of him, but it has legit no effect. Which Naruto confirms when he exclaims, "That didn't do anything at all." And Haku says, "You'll need much more heat than that to melt this ice." Haku then draws his Senbon. The mirrors glow white, and he starts his attack on Naruto and Sasuke simultaneously. And the attacks send them both flying, and the attack stops, and Naruto sets up and exclaims, "Where is he? Where's the needle attack coming from? Are they clones? We've got to find the real one. Which one is he?" And Haku tells them, "Look into every mirror as hard as you like. You'll never learn the secret." And Naruto questions aloud, "Oh yeah?" And he casts his shadow clone jutsu, but Sasuke yells, "No, don't." But it's too late. Naruto's already made a bunch of shadow clones, and they're frantically attacking the mirrors. And Naruto yells, "You've got 100 mirrors, then 100 of me'll smash them all, and I'll find where you really are." And it then shows the real Haku leaping from mirror to mirror, slashing the clones individually, and they all turn into plumes of smoke, and it's kind of like going in slow motion, right? This is all happening super duper quick. And Naruto plummets to the ground, having basically gotten his ass kicked really badly. And Haku then tells him, "These mirrors only reflect my image, allowing me to transport myself at light speed. Through my eyes, you appear to be moving in slow motion." And Kakashi groans and says, "I knew it. It's a bloodline trait. Kekkei Genkai." And Zabuza laughs. And Sakura asks, "Kekkei Genkai? What is it?" And Kakashi says, "It's like my Sharingan. You can't learn it. It has to be in your blood, in your genetic code passed down from generation to generation within a single clan. And Sakura interjects, but that means, and Kakashi responds, yes. Even I can't copy that jutsu. There's no way to destroy it and no way to stop him. And okay, Haku, I see you. Maybe your secret jutsu stays a secret. Keep your secrets then. Damn, I thought that for sure busting out. I thought that I was for sure going to get to see Kakashi doing a crystal ice mirror jutsu on somebody in the future. But no, that's been taken from us, even according to Kakashi. At this point, it takes us back to Naruto and Sasuke, and Naruto lowers his head and remarks intensely, I couldn't break through, so what? He's not going to stop me. I'm not giving up, and I'm not going to lose here, because I have a dream. No one's going to take it away from me. Someday I'll be respected in my village. That's my dream, to be the greatest Hokage. Our man Naruto, man, sticking to his principles. The guy is, like, every time he's down and out, that beacon of light that is becoming respected and taking care of the village as the Hokage is always there for him. And it's always just like his why, his motivating factor that compels him is always stronger than the motivating factor that compels his opponents. And it comes down to a battle of ego wills, and this fool has got the strongest psychological backbone out of everybody because he's got this, like, dead set goal in his mind that's clearly defined and he's working towards it. And Haku questions dreams, and it flashes back to Haku homeless in the snow, and Zabuza walks up and laughs at him and calls him a pathetic little urchin, which, that's a dope little insult. I might start calling people urchins. I'm not from Japan. I'm not a seafarer. I'm from Texas. We ain't got urchins in Lady Bird Lake, but damn, that's not a dope visual. Calling someone an urchin, that's worthwhile. Probably gonna bust it out on one of my business partners. Be like, bro, you're an urchin. But he then walks up and kneels and questions, nobody wants you, huh? Before winter ends, you'll die with nothing, not even a dream. And Haku smiles up at Zabuza, and this catches Zabuza way off guard. And Haku says, yours are like mine, mister. We're both the same. And it brings us back to the bridge in the here and now. And Haku says, it was not my desire to be a shinobi. It's painful. I don't want to kill you, but if you advance, I'll have no choice. Then I'll kill the kindness in my own heart and fully embrace the shinobi way, and there will be no mercy, no turning back. This ridge will be the battlefield where our dreams collide. Now I must fight for my dreams just as you fight for yours. Please don't blame me. I fight for someone who's precious to me. I lived for him and gave everything to him so that his dream may become reality. That is my dream. And for the sake of that dream, if I must, I will act as a shinobi and take your lives. And the episode ends, right? And what a triumphant speech to end the episode on, right? Haku obviously isn't just terrible, right? He was just saved by this from homelessness by this predator Zabuza, and now he lives indebted trying to make Zabuza's dreams reality, right? We got our answer as to why Haku hadn't sniped Sasuke yet. He's just soft and reluctant to kill. Naruto is a dork. How are you going to announce your arrival and fuck off every strategic advantage you've had? Especially whenever the kid's clever, right? He's obviously Captain Obvious, big dumbass, but when it comes right down to it, the kid is really good at using his clones to deceive his opponents, and I don't understand why that didn't happen just then. He could have used a clone to make the big announcement and be a real cool guy and get everybody's attention and counterattack again. But hey, the kid's a kid, right? He's a kid, so you can't blame him for trying to pull off some storybook shit. what else happened that I'd like to kind of touch on before we put a bow on this? Man, how did this fool walk right into Haku's crystal ice mirror dome? Literally right after Kakashi was like attacked from the outside. And then like as everybody's confirming this in their head, Naruto goes right into the dome. So dumbass move there. This is the second instance of a Kekkei Genkai, an inherited special clan particular jutsu in the show so far. Aside from the Sharingan, Haku's secret crystal ice mirror jutsu. It's wild that Kekkei Genkai can't even be copied by the Sharingan. I definitely thought that that would be like the special thing, right? But I guess it just doesn't. It doesn't copy Kekkei Genkai. It doesn't copy these special jutsu that can only be performed by people who have the right particular genetic makeup. And to put a bow on it, man, I really am curious to see how this fight is going to play out now that Naruto and Sasuke are both in the dome, and Zabuza has Kakashi and Sakura kind of in a checked stalemate. It's definitely going to be interesting. I wonder how or if. I mean, obviously, I doubt they're going to die in this dome, right? These are like the main characters. They're not going to die in the first big fight, but how are they going to get out of there, man? It's definitely a wild deal. The fire doesn't melt the crystal ice. Haku is moving from mirror to mirror at the speed of light, so like there's no like outpacing him. It's an interesting deal, man. Nuts upon second revisitation that this is like the first big arc and they have this Kekkei Genkai going. Like, you'd have thought it maybe would have been a little bit milder, not so much to wrap your head around there in the first arc, but no, they're just putting it all out there, letting their nuts hang. But at any rate, I said I was going to put a bow on this, and I could sit here and digress and talk bullshit about Naruto for forever. So, I won't drag it out for everybody too much. Y'all have effectively gotten your review in, and you've gotten my kind of pointed thoughts at the end of the episode. So I won't just digress into another hour of talking about nothing. And so, guys, I really appreciate everybody for coming in and listening. I'm really looking forward to covering episode 15 with you guys. And again, I'm Joshua. I'm your Konoha companion. Thank you so much for listening. Have a fantastic rest of your evening.